kid's ass.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
So I just saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I fucking loved it. Now, I already love the amazing experience that is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I pretty much love it for the exact same reasons everyone else does. I love Miles, I love Gwen, I love Peter B. Parker, I love Spider-Noir, I love Penny Parker, I love Aunt May.
I said take it outside!
I even love Peter Porker, that silly little prick. He's funny. It's got a great sense of humor, great music. Visually, it's eye candy. The story's touching and emotional that allows for some pretty great character moments, and all of them are pretty well developed. Even the ones with minimal screen time. It's just, in my opinion, a perfect adventure movie, and definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie. Although this film definitely comes at a close second. Right off the bat, the story is amazing. It's emotional, it's touching, and like the first movie, it allows for pretty great character moments between all of these fun, interesting, uniquely designed, relatable, fun, and incredibly well voice acted characters. From Miguel to Miles to Gwen, all the way to Spider-Punk, who's voiced by Daniel Kaluuya, which is fucking awesome to me. He was probably the standout bonus Spider-Man in the film for me. It perfectly expands on, tests, and adds so many more layers to the previously existing relationships from the last movie, namely between Miles, Peter B. Parker, and Gwen, as well as Miles' relationship with his parents, and even his roommate, which, again, isn't explored intricately or anything, but is certainly admirable for the little amount of time that it's on screen. Even though it hasn't been that long chronologically, all these characters feel like they've grown and changed for the better, even if they're all still going through this crazy emotional shit that every human being goes through. That's what makes them so amazing. There are some references, cameos, and Easter eggs that I, as a Spider-Man fan, greatly appreciated, such as Toby and Andrew appearing for a second. Yuri Lowenthal's The White Spider showed up for a little bit. Childish Gambino appeared as a different Uncle Aaron, the live-action version, which was pretty great. They also did a dig at Doctor Strange, which I thought was kind of funny. I would say from a visual standpoint, it's the first movie, but times 200,000. It's truly incredible. The blend of unique animations, even mixing 2D and 3D together at points, the action sequences, the different colors and art styles that come into play. Spider-Man is such a perfect character to do this kind of animation with because he's so fun visually, and this movie takes full advantage of that. I even thought the reference to Venom was pretty funny, with it literally just being Mrs. Cheng, who is completely unfazed by the Spot. Speaking of the Spot, he's a fucking great villain. He has a simple enough backstory that's easy to understand, and while he's comedic and fun to watch,
I'm gonna fuck your ass.
No.
and allows for some pretty creative and interesting fight scenes, he's genuinely quite a terrifying presence. I mentioned I really love the story and it has a great conflict. It's a little bit silly because it mainly relies on speculative theory to move the plot forward, in which characters just kind of assume that something's going to go bad without really knowing, and that's how the conflict arises. But hey, it's a movie and we need these things, otherwise we wouldn't get a story. It ends on a cliffhanger which I thought was really effective and genuinely left me wanting more. I've been waiting 5 years for this movie, and even though I only have to wait a little over half a year for the next movie, I'm fucking anxious. I'm shaking as I record this. This is why the audio probably isn't very good. I'm literally quivering. I think Shameik Moore is very close to overtaking Tobey Maguire as my favorite Spider-Man. In fact, you know what? Haley Steinfeld, honestly, I love Spider-Gwen. It's a definite tie between her and Miles, and either one of them, depending on the next movie, could definitely take over as my favorite. I just love we're getting a proper self-contained, non-MCU or Sony franchise Spider-Man story about these characters that we actually care about. The film is also surprisingly meta in a very creative way, basically saying that, yeah, all these Spider-Man stories basically follow one formula, and Miles is the one Spider-Man who A, wasn't meant to be, and B, because of his uniqueness, is the one willing to try and change that and break the formula, so Spider-Man can be something more unique. I thought that was really clever and I really liked it. This is yet another soundtrack where I'm going to save all of the songs on my Spotify playlist. It's a truly fantastic film. I love it dearly. I can't wait for the next chapter. I'm really glad that this kind of animation and creativity is really being embellished in recent years. It's a nice reminder that not all animated films have to be for fucking babies, and they can be dark, creative, funny, interesting, emotional, and dare I say, goddamn beautiful. Everybody, please go and see this movie. My only real regret is that it didn't come out sooner, so I couldn't watch it sooner. And I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10.